everybody. This is Love from Above with your Sibling Spirit Guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hi, Maureen. Hi, everyone. This is Brian.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here. On this podcast, we share channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And today's topic is hope, hope for the future. Brian, are you hopeful for the future?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So that's a great topic. I'm glad you put this one together. It looks very nice. So, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so this came in this past week, and I just thought it was such a beautiful message from the watchers. And they asked, what is hope? And their definition of hope is the faith that the future is brilliantly better than the present life you're currently enjoying. All hope resides with the push, the desire to unite with the one. Which isn't that interesting, Brian? All hope resides with the push, the desire to unite with the one.
Interesting. Yeah. What's your take on that?
Well, it's just interesting. I was just reading something in one of the books that we always read, and it was saying that, like, literally, like the dreams, anything that you desire, that is a push to unite with the one too, because the creator wants to express something that can only be expressed through you. And so it's interesting that hope is in the same way. So they go on and they say, we shall provide an example. Say you opened a door to a brilliant new world behind your closet. You would sneak back to visit this pleasantary planet as often as you could. The same is true with the widening of the heart of the individual soul. You get glimpses of the one, the Almighty's love for you. This glimpse may come in the form of a position of greater responsibility, a new love affair, a new home, a new car, a new opportunity to travel. All of these are greater glimpses of the delights of the one. So that's just really interesting. It's like a totally different perspective of your daily life to look at a new love affair as like a greater glimpse or a new glimpse of the one, the all, the Almighty. What
Or
do you think?
something, yeah, that we can both relate to new opportunity to travel as a glimpse of the delight of the one. So yeah, it's does put things in perspective.
Yeah. And I think what each one of those things do is it kind of awakens you. You can't be slumbering when you're starting a new job or you're traveling. Yesterday I came by bullet train to a different city in Japan, and you got to be on your toes. And so yeah, I think in a way all of those different new experiences, you have to be in the present moment, you have to be awakened. And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like anything, change and experiencing new things is what life is about, not just, doing the same thing every day. So I totally agree. Um, well, I love that. I love that everything they said there. So the next topic is about every day is a miracle. So building on this, and this is the Pleiadian brothers and sisters. And they said, do you know how much the caretakers who assume responsibility for this planet oversee each individual life? People feel that they are forgotten, that their prayers are not heard. This couldn't be further from reality. The creators know each individual's path, as do the masters and guardians. We serve as directed by those on high. So we wish for those who think that they're alone, that they are struggling, that nothing could be further from the truth. We are here. We are here. So that's that's very compelling, isn't it? Don't you think that your prayers are being heard and that they you know, they know exactly what your path is. And what else do you think about what they said there?
It's amazing. You know, I mean, you just think of how many people are out there. So I've been in these like really big cities with like people around me all the time. And to think that like each individual person is, you know, cure on a curated path and supported by all of these beings, like it's just literally astounding if you think about the complexity that that requires. And it's also so beautiful. Yeah, so I love that they know each individual's path as do the masters and guardians, and they serve as directed by those on high. Like, wow, we.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
And
exactly that. You think of the billions of people and then all their caretakers and people that are watching over them. It's yeah, just think of the logistics of all that or how that happens. It's just amazing.
yeah. And again, I say to you, no, I don't know why I ever worry because I'm fortunate to see those um that are beyond this realm and I know you feel them, but
Yeah.
but still sometimes I do worry and I think I've told you, I've been worrying about the trains in Japan. And then I took the bullet train yesterday and like it was nothing. It was a delight. It was an absolute pleasure. But you know, and it's again like why should we worry about everything if you know, everyone knows their individual path. Everything that happens to us, even these things that we view as obstacles or challenges, they're gifts for us. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just one more lesson for me to relax and trust and enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I love this is what they say. So we provide clues as to the highest available option for you. These you might call an inkling of the truth, a gut reaction, a knowing, a sign from God. Too often humans ignore these hallowed answers and proceed upon the same path. Um, you can never continue on the same path. So first, before they go into the example of that, I mean, isn't that interesting? So again, there's no wrong path, right? But they provide clues to the highest available option. And so it is sort of being attuned to that. And I mean, I guess it's not always easy, but yeah, following your gut, following, um, your intuition is really important. And I know you know all about this, right? So you're an
Yeah,
expert.
but even so, like I'm just thinking of now, so I can like go ahead in the future and I look at how things feel. And I hate to say this, but this is one of my priorities is getting my hair colored. Because I get my hair colored all over the world. And I was going to go back to this one place to get my hair colored, but I can go ahead and I can feel it. And even though I want to do that, it doesn't feel right. So, but I was going to, even knowing this, I was going to book that anyway, because I'm like, oh, I like that place. But no, it doesn't feel right. You know, I can go ahead and I can feel it. And there's something wrong there. So I have to change those plans. But I don't know if everybody else can feel that, but you can kind of go ahead and you can go forward in the future and you can feel it. And I don't know a better way to describe it, but like it either feels good or if it feels bad. And then later on I'll give you an example. So I was in Mexico when I booked this trip to Japan. And I kept on looking at when to leave Kyoto. And I just felt like September 1st. It had to be September 1st. And I wanted to leave earlier because that was going to be a really long stay. But it's like, no, it can't be any earlier. Well, then when I got to Kyoto, there was a typhoon. That's why I couldn't leave earlier. There was a typhoon that hit 2 days before September 1st. So you know what I mean? Like I intuitively knew like I can't leave before then. You know what I mean? Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Um, so they go on to say you can never continue on the same path. Imagine one of your video games. Not that you or I ever play a video game, but it's something we can relate to, right? What would happen if the hero or heroine stayed put? No point would be attained. No worlds would be wandered. The same is true for you. Each choice you make points you in a new direction and a higher vibratory status. There are no errors. I do love that, right? So, um, if you could see the world through our eyes, you'd be delighted, amazed, and astounded at the fantastical wonders you're able to achieve in a single day. Just by brushing your teeth, combing your hair, going to the gym, greeting someone that you know or you don't, each act is a love for yourself or the other. So that that puts a new perspective on your routine day, right? I mean, just every interaction is, something to be amazed at, right?
Yeah, it is. And if you think about it, like the act of brushing your teeth, that's an act of love for yourself and love for the other. No one wants to, inhale your stinky breath. But I mean, if you could go down to each act that you take, as an act of love for yourself and an act of love for the other. So again, it just these messages like they kind of tilt your mind to look at the world in front of you in a different way.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, so I'll go on to the third topic, which is a hope is essential for unlocking a life lived in love. And these were beings that call themselves the Friends of Aura, which I don't remember many messages for that by them, but anyway, they said that the importance of opening the heart and maintaining hope in the heart is the key to unlocking a life lived in love. So that's just so important. I'm going to repeat it again. The importance of opening the heart and maintaining hope in the heart is the key to unlocking a life lived in love.
Hmm.
Brian, can you feel when your heart is closed?
Yes, yes. And so, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we do, one of the daily meditations we do, it's opening up the heart and as part of the Merkaba meditation. But yeah, I mean, it's if you're, you know, going through something or feeling some anguish about something, it's easy to get your heart closed and, about something silly. So it is, you know, the key is maintaining that opened heart, right?
Right. Yeah, for me, like that's something that I've been feeling or noticing only for the past couple of years. And so I do keep my heart open, but when you close it down, like now I notice it right away and it really doesn't feel good. It's so constricted. You know what I mean? Um, but again, it was a skill that I learned later on in life is to really notice whether that heart chakra is open. And for me, what closes it is fear.
Hmm. Yep, they'll do it.
Yeah. So they go on to say, we laugh as we watch humans scurry to obtain this or that, when in reality, the only satisfaction comes from a life lived with love. Isn't that the truth? They said this should be the goal for every day. Should you desire every moment in love, let's discuss what that would look like. It would require you to be fully present, to notice every gift that's been given you, the person who assists you, a cloud in the sky, a rose in the garden. These are singular expressions of God's love for you. Wow.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the people that have like those near death experience who that really appreciate life. because most people are just going through their day and just not, you know, noticing things like that, right? And so I do try and really be present and notice every little thing, especially if it's easier when you're outside and, let's say going for a walk and just the clouds and the nature and the birds and everything that you see is such a blessing. Um, but yeah, that's a key message. I love it.
Yeah, something that helps me is you know how whatever you put your attention on, that's magnifies and grows. So every day I count my miracles and I count my forms of abundance. And the forms of abundance might be an abundance of birds outside or abundance of butterflies or clouds or beautiful weather or but yeah, that really helps me to literally stop and smell the flowers. And I love to hug a tree and, stop in my tracks to watch a, dragonfly or I'll tell you the butterflies, Brian. Brian has so many butterflies near his house, but Brian, these butterflies are as big as your fist. Like they're just giant. So, and they go on to say, all of these creations have brought forth to enhance life. They are more than props within your matrix. They are to be admired, not admonished into a realm of banality. Ba-boom.
Well, that sums it up pretty well, don't you think? So these are coming forth to enhance your life. But I don't know. I mean, how many people do you really think notice that type of thing? It seems like it's I could think maybe more and more people these days as there's more interest in this type of thing, but um I don't know. It's something that I'm certainly trying to do on a regular basis, but it's not always easy, I'd say.
And I think people do generally love nature, even if it's, your tree lawn. There's such beauty within nature.
Right.
And then, I do think people are so focused on creating beauty within their homes, picking up an object that they desire, or refreshing the paint, or, people really pride themselves on the beauty of their homes. Um, so I do think that is true, but it is true. Brian, I keep on thinking, remember when they said like in 2012, like time is going to accelerate? I'm like, it can't go any faster than it is now. And I really feel like it's moving. Are you feeling like time is moving so fast? Like,
Yes, yes.
I feel like almost I'm in a wind tunnel and I'm like hanging on.
Well,
So that's the challenge, being in the wind tunnel and hanging on and yet being fully present to
yeah.
appreciate
Right,
it.
right, right.
I'll tell you, time is just whoo. Um, it is greatly accelerated, that's for darn sure.
Well, I love it. Well, I'll do you so you had a great closing here from the Pleiadian brothers and sisters. So each individual soul is like a treasured relic to be admired. So isn't that beautiful? So I love that they're looking out for all of us and all these little things that they've mentioned on today's podcast are beautiful. So I think this is a great one.
Yeah, and I hope it gives you all hope for the future. We're grateful for all that listen, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everyone.